Hey everybody, it's Rolly and happy Sunday. I was wondering whether or not it was even going to go live this morning because it was just round and round and round it went and it wasn't going anywhere. So I am doing the weekly card pulls, but I am live right now at this particular moment on my Facebook pages as well. So I'm on Bridging the Gap Wellness Center page. I am on my own personal page. I am on Hey Francine. I am on Divine Crystal Healing Shop page and Really Alaire Holistic Life and Wellness Coach. And then of course I am inside the Mind, Body, Heart and Soul Connection group, formerly Holistic Wellness Lounge. And sometimes I even go back to that name. And I'm also live on YouTube. So that's where I'm at right at this particular second, but I'm not going to be staying here on all of these pages. So what I wanted to do was share, because one of the things that I have found is that people are having a little trouble trying to find our weekly card pulls. So I am doing them live inside the Facebook group. And so I'm going to share the link, which will not show up on inside the Facebook group because Facebook doesn't allow it. And so I can't share the link in there. And so, but this is the link that is in there. And allô, comment ça va? So, je sais pas c'est qui. Je pense que c'est Aline. Oh, oui, c'est Aline. Elle dit Aline à la fin. So when I'm live inside the Facebook group, then it will not show me who is commenting if you don't give StreamYard permission. So, and that's one of the things that are on the description. So this is where I am for the weekly card pulls. So if you are catching this and you're like, hey, I want to be able to get card pulls and come and join us. So inside the weekly card pulls, I pull 3 group cards. So there are 3 cards that are generalized for the group. And then I also have a list of people who are weekly card pulled. And so I pull a card for each person weekly, as well as anybody who is just jumping on the call and is like, hey, I want to be able to get the card pulled today, then we can do that. So if somebody is inside the group and wants a card pulled weekly, then if they hashtag weekly, then I will add them to the weekly list. And so Barb Brown has just joined us on the weekly list. So she's our newest person. And so then I randomly pull the names as to whose names I'm going to be pulling first. So it's never in a particular order. And so even though the list is in a particular order on my desk so that I have it there and handy. And yeah, so this is kind of where I'm at. And so I have been talking a lot about self-care in different groups that I'm in today specifically, and also on the Divine Crystal Healing Shop business page, I shared a few resources specifically for self-care. So today it marks the anniversary of 2 years that I was coming home from the hospital after having had an emergency appendectomy the day before. Less than 18 hours. So I got home and, but I couldn't go home because my husband was out of town, and it was like, well, just in case, because we have 2 floors. So just in case I needed something, it was just easier for me to just be at the shop. So I lay down on the couch at the shop, and Brooklyn had looked after me during the day until Sheldon came home, and yeah. So, but it's just so important for us to be able to have that self-care, and so the Sacred Self-Care deck is the one that I decided to pull from today. And so what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to pull the card, and so for example, this one here says connect with your womb. And so from there, I'm going to go into the deck, and I don't even know what number that was because I didn't look. So then I'm going to go into the deck, and I am going to pull I'm going to share the journal prompt. So this particular deck has the description and has a mantra. It also has the description, and then it has a journal prompt. And so I am going to share the journal prompt with everybody. So if you are not inside the Facebook group, come and join me there, because I'm going to be turning off right now the on all of my business pages and or on my personal page. So come and join me inside the group. There are questions that you must answer in order to join the group. And so if you do not answer the questions, you do not get to join the group. So, so if you're like, hey, I tried to join the group and I still haven't been accepted, if you didn't answer all the questions, that's the reason why. So, but yeah, so that is one of the ways of being able to try and keep spammers out and having people who genuinely want to be in and come and join us for mind, body, heart, and soul connection. So let me say goodbye to all of you on my different pages. So, so bye to my personal friends. And goodbye to Rolly Lair Holistic Life and Wellness Coach peeps. Goodbye to Bridging the Gap Wellness Center peeps. See you guys inside the Facebook group. And goodbye to anybody who is with Divine Crystal Healing Shop. And so if you are still here, then that was because you are inside the Facebook group. So anybody who is inside the Facebook group has still remained. And so I had 10 people that were on, and now I'm down to 1. So that means that people were watching me from different groups and so or different pages. So welcome back, whoever's eyeball I still see. So now I see 3 eyeballs. So people have come back and found me. Yay! Okay, so I'm going to pull. So the first person that I'm pulling today is Barb Brown. And ironically, she's the last person who was added to the weekly list. And so as I shared earlier, if you hashtag weekly, then I will add you to the weekly list, which means that even if you can't make it on the day that I'm pulling cards, then you can come back and catch the replay. And typically, for the most part, I come in and I do that every Sunday. But the odd Sunday, I don't come in. So, but for the most part, I am here every Sunday. So, Barb, you are the first. So welcome to our card pulls. So if you're catching the replay, hashtag replay and let me know that. So Barb, your self-care tip for today. So dream journal. So it says, are you sleeping? So dream journal. So number 20. So I'm going to read the journal prompt for you today. So the journal prompt is recall a recent or powerful dream you had, writing it out as if it were a story. What lessons can you learn from this dream? So anything this week that you have, then make sure that you have that. So, so we have good morning, Cindy. Good morning, Francine. Hello, Christine. And good morning, Cindy. Oh, apparently we've got good morning to Cindy twice. So Cindy has said good morning twice. So, so that is your card for this week. So, so like I said, what I'm going to be doing is reading the journal prompts. And the reason I decided to read the journal prompts for today and not just pull cards and have some information is that I have been really talking about self-care. And so that is something that we oftentimes don't do enough of. And so just being able to have that opportunity helps us with that. So good morning, Sharon. How are you? Okay, so Ethel is next. So Ethel's card is flow like water. So flow like water. So your journal prompt for today is, so what belief and patterns would you like to wash away with the help of water? So water is a very powerful, powerful element that really does help cleanse and clear and removes debris and cleans and clears. So that is what your journal prompt is. Better now that you found me. And that's why I decided that I was going to go live on a couple of pages, because a lot of people have had trouble coming back to find me. So I think I'm going to do this for a little bit and try and get people in here. So somebody said, hey, Rolly, but I don't know who you are, because you are, so whereas like where the difference is that I can see Sharon because she's given Facebook permission. I can see Cindy. I can see Christine. I can see Francine, but I can't see who this person is. But hey, how's it going? So so Cindy is next. So I'm going to pull Cindy's card. So I'm going to pull 5 people this morning, and then I'm going to pull our first group card. So what is going to be our first journal prompt for today? So Cindy, Cindy, you have this one as well. Flow like water. So the journal prompt is, what beliefs and patterns would you like to wash away with the help of water? So that is your journal prompt for today. So what do I need to know is the question. And so we are trying to, oh, hey, Sarah. How's it going? I haven't seen you in a really long time. So and I don't remember, I can't actually post on it, but if you go into the description, it actually gives you inside the description that if you, oh, nope, that doesn't say. So, but there is inside the description, it says to give StreamYard permission, and you should only have to do it once. It has happened where people have done it in the past and have had to do it again. But typically once you give them permission, then you don't have to do that again. So let me know if you want a card, Sarah. And so Sai is next. And so, make a meal. So your journal prompt for today is, so what is your favorite meal from childhood? How can you recreate this meal for yourself and make it equally meaningful and tasty? So one of the things that people have said over the years is that, I used to love it when my grandmother used to like make her soup, but it doesn't taste the same. And so I have a new friend that I have met. And one of the things that she said is that grandma used to like pour her magic into it. All right. So she would she would like stir in all of the love, and like, so it is made with love. My friend always says, my friend Tracy always says made with love. And so, but it's like that stirring in the love and the energy. So it always tastes better. Grandma used to make it. So that's a very beautiful way of doing it. And so speaking of which, here's Miss Trey. So your message is clean your space. So your journal prompt for today, Miss Trey, is clean your space. So what cleaning project are you dreading and why? What support would you need to get this project finished? So that is what your journal prompt is for today. And I'm going to pull our first group card. So we have a chakra balancing class that we are doing. We actually have 2 of them today. Because of the restrictions in our community, I had to like split up the group, and so that I can maintain the go back to the old numbered restrictions. And of course I had kept all of the groups were always had already been smaller sizes except for one other. And of course, this is the one that filled up completely quickly. And so today we're going to be working with crystals today in this particular class. So it's called Chakra Balancing, and it's every 2 weeks here at the Bridging the Gap Wellness Center. And so, but we're going to be working with crystals today to balance our chakras. So my mom made blueberry pie, and I can never get it like hers. I guess her love is the secret ingredient. But one of the things that that my friend said is that if you pour in the love, intentionally set in the love of whatever it is that you're making, then you will be able to get that to taste exactly the same as your mom's. So that is, and I keep knocking over. So I have this watch face that I have on my desk. And so oftentimes when I'm doing something, I end up like knocking it over, and it doesn't seem to matter where I put it. It always seems to knock over. And the face is really important for me. So it is a watch face that I got from Sheldon's grandfather before he had passed. He was like giving away watch faces. I don't know why this man had so many watches, but he had zillions of watches. And so he was giving away his watches. And so this one is a watch face that has no straps to it, and so I have it sitting on my desk, but it always ends up falling over. So I have a little part of Joe, and I have a little parts of a lot of people on, on my desk. So there's another little part of Joe. He had gifted that at one point, and then I have Miss Alexis. So she has a chain. So I have a chain now that I can actually use. And I have my moonstone, and then I have Miss Trey gave me this as our inner moon goddess circle had come to life. She came and found it. So yeah, so lots of really interesting things on my desk. So now back to where I'm at. So yeah, that's what that sound was. I have lots of little things in front of my desk. In front of me, at my desk, I should say. And so our first group card is write a gratitude list. So write a gratitude list is what our first group card is. So 55, so our journal prompt for that one is the very last deck, our last card in the deck. So what are you grateful for? How can you show more gratitude daily? So what are you grateful for, and what can you show more gratitude lately? So those are that's our first group card. I'm doing lots of chattering today. Chatter. So Mary Ann is next. I'm still in my PJs this morning. So Mary Ann, which is Marianne's message. Oh, nice one. Build strength. So build strength. So your oracle card message. This deck was in one of our seasonal divinity box. In our seasonal divinity boxes. So what makes you feel strong? So what makes you feel strong? So that is your journal prompt for today, Miss Marianne. And so Vicky is next. Ooh, and Vicky's got a jumper. So she's our first jumper today. Oh, she's got 2 jumpers today. Oh my goodness. And what's really interesting is both of those 2 cards are really tied together. And so your card is take a walk. So take a walk. So 52. So what sights, sounds, and smells do you notice when you go for walks, and how do these things make you feel? So that is your first card. And then number 40 is pleasure. So that is your card. And so what kind of pleasure do you want to call into your life? So take a walk, find pleasure. And number 44 is sex. And so there is your card. So what kind of sexual experience would you like to call into your life? So they really tie into your, they really tie into that pleasure, into like what sensory things are you noticing. So I love how the cards just all come together. So they just do. And so Melissa, tu es la prochaine. So Melissa. So one of the things inside Divine Crystal Healing Shop that I'm hoping to be able to do in the new year is to get some French resources. So, but that is based on the fact that we may not get locked down. So we'll see. So we will see where things happen. So Melissa, beauty ritual. So you've got beauty ritual, and you've also got music. So beauty ritual Number 5 is, what could you do to make your daily beauty routine feel more sacred? So for those of us who don't wear makeup, I don't know, I can't remember if Melissa wears makeup or not, but so that beauty ritual is just something as simple as washing our face and doing our hair and having our showers, whatever it is that we can be doing. But what kind of things can we be doing to make that beauty ritual? And the other thing that just came to mind with that is I know that Wendy and Dana have talked a lot about dry brushing, and so that might be something else to be able to add into. So music. So what do you think your choices in music say about you? So those are your journal prompts. Miss Melissa, that is your journal prompts. Kai is next. So I'm going to do Kai, Mary, and Christine, and then I will pull our next group card. So long as I don't forget by the time I get there, but I just put a mark on the sheet. So I'll pull our second group card after Christine. So Kai has a jumper. Christine is who I was just talking about, but that's not whose card I'm pulling. So Kai. Connect with fire. So connect with fire, and you've got dance. So like, how appropriate are the two of those? So connecting with fire. So the two of them really blend well together. So connecting with fire. What old patterns and beliefs would you like to transmute into the alchemy of magic fire? Or the alchemical magic fire. Let me try that again. So number 18 is dance. And so your journal prompt is, do you feel comfortable dancing? If yes, what style of dance makes you feel the most radiant and best expresses you? If no, why do you feel uncomfortable? And how do you think that you could work through this discomfort? So that is your message. Those are your messages for this week, Kai. And so Mary, my dear friend Mary. I really miss my cobalt living across from Mary. It is much more convenient being here, however, but at this time of the year, my yard doesn't matter. But in the fall, spring, summer, and fall, I like being outside on my deck on this, or my patio, I should say, not my deck. I don't have a deck. Well, I do technically, I guess, in the back. So Mary, ooh, nice. Ground yourself. And although we know that, and we were actually talking about this yesterday, is although we know that we need to ground ourselves, we often don't take enough time to be able to do that. So grounding ourselves before we go out into an anxious situation, grounding ourselves before we go and get ready for bed, ground ourselves before we start an activity. And so really important for us to do that. So it's just interesting how we were having that conversation yesterday. We know a lot of things. However, do we do those things? So how do we feel about taking the time to connect with the earth physically through a visualization meditation? So how do you feel about taking the time to connect with the earth physically and through a visualization meditation? So that is your journal prompt for today. So Christine, my dear friend Christine, who has this deck, I'm pretty sure, because it would have been in a seasonal divinity box. I just know that she also shares her seasonal divinity box, so I'm not sure if she has this or not. So she shares the contents from it, which are seasonal divinity boxes are opening for subscription starting on Saturday. So if you've been like, hey, I want one of those, and you haven't jumped in, you're going to have to had to make brunch. So I did pull your card, Cindy, a little bit ago. So read. So read is your next card. Is your message. So What was your favorite book to read as a kid, and how does it make you feel to think about reading it now? So I've actually done that. I've gone back and read the different series. I'm a reader. So I've gone back and read the series that I've actually read when I was a kid. And it was like some of it, sometimes it was kind of like, really? How did that happen? I don't know that I enjoyed that. Yeah, you were near the beginning this time. I think you're more kind of near the middle to like 3/4 in, I think has kind of been where the where you've been. So we have a jumper, and my favorite series was Nancy Drew. Nancy Drew was one that I still continued to read, or that I still enjoyed reading, but there were some other ones that it was like, really? I used to enjoy this? So really interesting. So Wendy, if you're watching this, so Wendy sent me a message this morning and said, because we were talking about like different things and different activities to be able to do. And but because of the different restrictions physically, is like, how are we going to do that? And so she had suggested doing a hybrid, different hybrid workshops. So there's only so many seats inside the building that you can attend, and then the rest we could do virtually. And so it was really interesting. So one of the things that was on the list was make a vision board, and we've talked about that as well. And of course, create art. So those two things really tie together. And so I'm going to start with make a vision board. So make a vision board is, what are the top 3 things that you want to manifest in your life? And so watch for the workshop. I will definitely be posting something about that. And haven't done a vision board workshop in a long time. So what blocks, real or imagined, stop you from making art? What practical steps can you take to work through these blocks? So create art. So that is what we're going to be doing, is some different kinds of workshops to bring people back in sync, especially for us local people who are now back to some restrictions. So Sharon is next. So I'm glad that you found us, Sharon. And so Sharon also has the amethyst lamp that she purchased, that amethyst lamp. And one of the things that was really interesting is that one of the people had actually noticed when the light was on is that it looks like a rose on the inside of the light. And I never noticed until the person had pointed it out. And so we turned it back on and was like, oh yeah, that's actually kind of cool. Connect with fire. So connect with fire we've had already. So what old patterns and beliefs would you like to transmute with the alchemical magic of fire? So alchemy is the word that I'm trying to say. Yeah, I know, eh? Isn't that cool, Sharon? So when you turn it on, you'll have to take a look, because you'll see where it has the rose on the inside. So Bailey is next, and I haven't heard from Bailey in a long time, so I'm not sure where things are at with Bailey. So one of the things that, if you are on the weekly list, even if you are just joining the weekly list more recently, is that at one point, I'd probably be at the beginning of the new year, that I will put out a post and ask if you want to be on the weekly card pulls, because I don't want to keep pulling cards for people who aren't coming back to listen to the card pulls. So what I do is I actually do that and ask people to let me know if they are still interested. So and then it also allows people to be able to jump on if they are wanting to be able to jump on. So Bailey, you have a jumper. So I will be doing that again to kind of clean up the list and make sure that anybody who is catching the replays are definitely catching them. Because I don't know, some people don't put hashtag replays, so I don't really know whether or not people are watching it and coming back for the replay. So hydrate. You've got hydrate and you've got family today. So for family, the journal prompt is, what problem areas, if any, remain unresolved with your family? How do you think resolving outstanding issues would impact your life? And so 27 is, so are you happy with your water source? If not, How can you upgrade your water supply? So I have my trusty little, and it's not just these ones. I have a different kind of bottle as well, but they're glass bottle. So then I put my fresh water in there because I don't drink tap water. Ugh. Yucky tap water. And so that's how I try to maintain being able to have my water source. And so Francine always points out that it looks like vodka bottle. So like here is, this one here has water in it. And so she always points out that it looks like vodka. And I'm like, I don't drink vodka. And then she's like, oh, well, then it looks like rum. And it's like, well, I don't drink rum either. So I hardly drink alcohol at all. But I do drink vodka. Yes, my vodka bottle. So I do drink vodka in vodka coolers, but again, even that's like not very often. So we always laugh that if there's an expiry date on alcohol, we're in big trouble because like it's always expiring. Oh, and you were thinking that it was gin. Yeah, we were talking about drinking gin, that when our grandparents and stuff used to give us gin to help with any aches or whatever it is that we had going on. I think gin was like the hot toddy that they would give you, and it would be warm, and it would be like when you had a cold or sinuses or something. I can't remember what it is because it's illegal to give it to children in Canada now. Actually, it was probably illegal then too, but it was just not known. So Tracy O'Brien is next. So Tracy, your message is soak in a bath. I love taking my bath. And so I was listing in one of the Facebook groups that I'm in. It's a market. And so I had listed like, what do you do for self-care? And soak in a bath was one of the things that somebody had pointed out. So how can you make a bath feel more like a sacred self-care ritual? So that is your question. Puts us to sleep. Hot toddy for cold. I could use that today to clear those darn sinuses. I know. So my sinuses are doing pretty good. So luckily, this is the first time I think that I've been saying that. So the sinuses are feeling pretty good. This morning I woke up dry, but that's because of all the extra heat. So Allison is next. So we've got Allison, Tiziana, Richard, and Francine. And then I'm going to pull our final group card and then go on with the rest of the list. So connect with the earth. I couldn't read that from backwards. So connect with the earth is your journal prompt for this week, is your message for this week, Allison. So your journal prompt is, what local nature spot have you meant to go to but have not yet made time to visit? What has been holding you back? So any places that I had hoped for is definitely not happening at this time of the year. It is cold out there. I don't know what it's like today. Yesterday it was freezing. So haven't gone that far today. But yesterday it was brutal. Had to step outside for a minute and it did not take me very long to come back in again. So Tiziana, health checkup. So health checkup is your message. So 26. So what aspect of your health is your body calling for you to focus on today? Not as cold as yesterday. Oh, good to know. So what aspect of your health is your body calling out to focus on? So that is your message, Tiziana. So Richard is next. And last week, I believe I had missed Richard. And Francine is the one that pointed out that she did not hear Richard because he would have been right after Francine. It was minus 24 when I got up. Now it's at minus 14. Okay. So for all of our southern U.S. friends, that's Celsius. So watch a movie and soak in a bath. So those are your two messages, Richard. So you've got 54. So what is your favorite movie from childhood and how does it make you feel at this time of the year? For me, it's like the warm and fuzzy Christmassy movies. So soak in a bath. How can you make a bath feel more like a sacred self-care ritual? So those are your messages. And for people who are like, oh, I really hate taking a bath, then do a ritual with a shower. It doesn't have to be a bath, right? So just a lot of times that self-care is being able to soak in a bath. So I know some people will light candles, some people will use essential oils, some people will use bath salts, some people will do all of the above, whatever it is that makes that time for you. Madame Francine. So Francine is dance. Let's dance. So 18. So dance. So do you feel comfortable dancing? If yes, what style of dance makes you feel most radiant and best expresses you? If no, why do you feel uncomfortable? And how do you think you could work through this discomfort? So that is your message. Rock and roll. Woohoo! So weren't you guys talking about rock and roll the other day in the group? So rock and roll. I'm not sure if it was you and Marianne or somebody else and Marianne, but somebody was talking about rock and roll. I think it was you and Marianne. Okay, so this is our last group card. And then I have Lori, Aline, Sabrina, Tracy with an I, Umer, and Sarah. So if anybody else, yes, we were. So if there's anyone else, let me know. So ground yourself. My fingers. So ground yourself. As I say that, the card starts jumping out of my fingers. So how do you feel after taking the time to connect with the earth physically and through a visualization meditation? So how do you feel after taking the time to connect with the earth physically through a visual meditation? Physically or through physical meditation. So that is our last group card. Lori, and I'm going to use those as part of my journal prompts, which probably will be after my client, because I have to get ready for group, and then I have to, then I have a client at 3 o'clock, and then I have another group again at 7 tonight. So because I work from 9 to 5 on every other Sunday. And so I have a couple of clients and I have a group. So Lori, your message is read. Read. So what was your favorite book to read as a kid? And how does it make you feel to think about reading it now? I do have a busy day today. It's a good busy day and lots of connecting with crystals today. So that should be fun. So we're going to be connecting with crystals with being able to balance our chakras. And I'm going to be doing that twice today. So lots of crystals today. Usually that's at 7 p.m. only every other Sunday. But this week is I'm doing it twice because, like I said, I had to split the group. So, Madame Aline, so soak in a bath. So, prends ton bain. So, your journal prompt for today is, how can you make a bath feel more like sacred self-care? Like a sacred, let me try that one again. How can you make a bath feel more like a sacred self-care ritual? So, that is your message for this week. And so, Sabrina. So Sabrina's message is aromatherapy. So aromatherapy is number 3. What is your favorite scent from childhood and what does it remind you of? So aromatherapy does not have to be perfumed kind of things or essential oils, but like there's different scents, right? So I love the smell of homemade bread because it always takes me back to when my grandmother would be making homemade bread in the wood stove. So And she made tons of bread. I cannot get bread to rise here in this apartment to save my life. I have tried every possible way of being able to raise bread, and I cannot raise it at all. So, let's see how it goes. So Tracy with an I is next. So have a wonderful wonderful day, beautiful ladies and friends. I'm going to finish my roast beef. Beautiful. We're having leftovers for dinner today because I have to work. So they will be able to eat kind of when they need to, and I will sneak away when I can and go and grab a bite to eat. So usually Sundays is like a bigger meal kind of day, but not for today. So Tracy, flow like water. So flow like water is your message. So Tracy with an I, 24. I haven't heard from Tracy or Vicky or Bailey in quite some time. So what beliefs and patterns would you like to wash away with the help of water? So that is your journal prompt today, Tracy. Umer. So Umer is next, and then last but not least is Sarah. And so again, if anybody wants to be added to the weekly card pool, is just hashtag weekly, and I will get your name added to the list. And like I said, at either the end of December or early part of January, watch for posts that will get you to confirm that you still want to be on the weekly list, because if not, then I will remove your name. So Umer, you have clear your energy field. So clear your energy field. So 10. And for those of you like Umer who catch me on YouTube, same thing. So I won't be creating a post. Obviously, I can't do that on YouTube, but watch to confirm that you are definitely catching the replays. So when do you struggle to maintain clear energy? So when do you struggle to maintain clear energy? That is your journal prompt. And then Sarah. Oh my goodness. Sarah, you just went full on flying out of the deck. So Sarah, your message for this week is soak in a bath and journal. So those are your two journal prompts. So 29 for journal. So what thoughts or stories would be helpful for you to write about to gain more clarity? So that is your journal. And soak in a bath. 46. So how can you make a bath feel more like a sacred self-care ritual? So those are your journal prompts for today. And so what I'm going to do with our group cards is I'm also going to read the mantras for each. So I already gave the journal prompts, but for our group cards, I'm going to read the mantra that is attached to that card. So 25. I am grounded, stable, and strong. So that is your mantra for this week. I am grounded, stable, and strong. And create art is I am an artist creating a masterpiece that is called my life. So one of our guests on Chatting with Wisdom actually talked about that just recently. It wasn't that long ago, but I can't remember which week that it was, but it was just recently. So make a vision board is our other one. So make a vision board. My dreams have come true. So that is our vision board. And 55, write a gratitude list. So, and the mantra for that one is very simple. I am grateful. So I am grateful for each and every one of you. So those are, so like I said earlier, I shared the journal prompts. And so that is our mantras for this week. So if you don't already have this deck and that you're interested in it, let me know. Because we definitely have a couple of them in stock. So at the Divine Crystal Healing Shop. But otherwise, I will chat with all of you guys later. And for those of you who I'm seeing this afternoon or this evening, I can't wait to see you. Bye for now.